Obviously this is something we talk about all the time, is that being default aggressive is good for leaders. Yes, that is a true statement. There's a dichotomy, obviously, because you can be too aggressive and then things go wrong and things go bad and things don't work. And yes, there are some people that are, let's say, more aggressive by nature. And then let's also remember that being aggressive means a lot more than just being loud, brash, and in your face, right? That is the stereotypical thing that we think of when we think of, oh, that guy's really aggressive. You think this guy's in your face, he's yelling, he's, pushing people over. That is not the type of aggressiveness that you need to be an effective leader. You don't need to be a loudmouth. You don't need to be brash. You don't need to get in people's faces. What being aggressive means is taking action. That's the kind of aggressiveness that I'm talking about. That's the kind of aggressiveness that General Mattis is talking about. And, the definition, I actually wrote this down, the definition of aggressive, or one of the definitions of being aggressive, is forceful and sometimes overly assertive pursuit of one's aims. So, first of all, forceful we get, right? Sometimes overly assertive means sometimes that you have to go a little bit harder. And here's why that's important, because listen, in combat, almost nothing will happen the way you want it to if you don't force it that way. Right? You are coming against a powerful force, the enemy, nature, time. There's all kinds of things that are going against you. It's a losing battle. And if you don't use force of will, then you're not going to get it done. You have to be aggressive and make things happen. This idea that you're going to be aggressive is very important. But if you think to yourself, well, okay, I'm not the type of person that likes to be a loudmouth, likes to shout, likes to yell, cool, good. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be that way. What it means is you need to make things happen. That's what it means. And it can be, this is the good thing about being aggressive. Sure, there's certain parts of your nature that are aggressive, but it can also be trained. You can start to think with an aggressive mindset, which is, I am going to take action. I'm going to overcome obstacles. I'm going to push through roadblocks. I'm not going to take no for an answer. And those are things that you can train. And how do you train them? Look, when you hit an obstacle, you look at it, you shake your head and you go, cool, let's go. Let's figure this out. There's so often times where people, they get told no, or they hit an obstacle and it's game over for them. They're just done. They're done training. They're over it. And your attitude, you have to go, okay, little roadblock, cool. How am I going to get through it? How am I going to get around it? And I used to put people, so to train people to be more aggressive, regardless of what and believe me, I had guys, SEAL officers that were coming through or SEAL chiefs that were coming through, real passive guys, quiet guys, not the type of person that you would figure, that guy's aggressive. You wouldn't characterize them as that. But what I would do is put them in situations where if they didn't make aggressive decisions to make things happen, they were going to get annihilated. Put them in training scenarios like that. Okay, you want to sit here and you want to wait? Like you're getting attacked and you want to sit here and you want to wait. You don't want to make a decision? Cool. In 16 minutes, I will have everyone in your task unit dead. We will kill them all with paintball. And so they learn that, and I go, well, what do you think happened? And they'd say, well, we started to get surrounded, and I go, and what did you do? Well, we held position. Okay, how long did you hold position for? Oh, we held it for a while. And what did the enemy do? Well, they started to maneuver. And then what'd you do? Well, we held position. And then what'd the enemy do? Well, they maneuvered more. And then what'd you do? I held position. And then we started taking casualties. And then the enemy maneuvered, and then they closed the distance, and then they took us out. Okay, what do you think would have been better? Well, perhaps when it first started, before they had us enveloped, I could have made a maneuver to get to another building with some more high ground. That sounds like a great idea. Next time, why don't you be a little bit more aggressive in making things happen? Okay, put them in the same scenario. They get a little bit more aggressive. They realize that it serves its function, and they start to develop the attitude, and they start to understand what a lack of aggression will get you, because that's an important thing to know, right? It's not just the carrot, it's the stick. Cool, if I do aggressive thing, it'll be rewarding. If I don't do something aggressive, we're going to get annihilated. So here's the other thing that you got to be ready for. So if you're a person that you lean towards being passive, you've got to start to lean towards being aggressive. And here's the thing that you got to remember. You're going to make mistakes. Because when you're aggressive, you're taking more risk. And often you're taking more risk. Now, if you played out the whole matrix of being passive versus being aggressive, I will tell you that being aggressive is the one that ends up on top. But there are scenarios where your aggressiveness ends up costing you a little bit. That absolutely happens. It happens in business, it happens in life, it happens on the battlefield. Aggressive has to be your default mode. This is exactly why aggression has to be your default mode. Your default mode is aggressive. If your default mode is aggressive and it's not the right answer, you just use the other answer, right? Your default mode is aggressive. That's why I originally said to these young SEAL officers, your default mode has to be aggressive. So if you're not sure if you should stay or you should go to the default, which is going to be aggressive, because 9 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, that's going to be a better move than sitting on your ass and doing nothing. That's what's going to get you killed. So your default mode is to go. Now, do you always go with your default mode? No, you don't always go with it. It's the default mode. But occasionally you go, oh, you know what? I'm not going to go to the default mode. You pull the setting out and you go into the other mode.
Customize it.
Yeah, you customize a little bit for that particular situation. But your default mode is, I'm going to be aggressive. And that's the odds. You want the odds. You want to stack the odds in your favor.